Blog Talk Radio. Welcome to Take Two Radio. We are pleased to bring you interviews with people in the entertainment and music industry, discussions and recaps of the 4 remaining daytime soaps. That's The Bold and the Beautiful, The Young and the Restless, General Hospital, and Days of Our Lives, as well as various other shows. For upcoming and previous shows, check take2radio.com. That's with the number 2. And you can find us on Blog Talk Radio, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and other streaming apps. Follow us on social media at Take2 Radio, and thanks for listening. Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Take2 Radio. I'm Pam, your host, and pretty much the whole gang is here. We're just missing out on Willie because, unfortunately, they're having a storm in Texas, and he had to take shelter. So we wish him well, and we hope he stays safe. Tonight, we're celebrating our 10th anniversary of Take2 Radio, and we are very excited to have as our special guest the award-winning actor Greg Vaughan. And he's well known for his roles on television and movies. His most recent roles are as Eric Brady on Days of Our Lives and as Kelvin on Queen Sugar. Please welcome Greg to the show.
Hello, everyone. Hey.
Hello.
Hey.
As you can tell, there's a lot of people here excited to talk to you.
Well, I'm honored to be amongst you all.
Thank you. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to join us. We truly, truly appreciate it, and especially for our 10th anniversary show. We couldn't think of a better guest.
Oh, you're too sweet. Thank you so much for having me. I'm glad you got a lot of great things that are coming down the pipeline. But first and foremost, congratulations on 10 successful years.
Thank you. It flew by, but then again, it feels like it's been forever, too. You know, how anniversaries and birthdays are.
Yes, I do. My youngest is 10, so I know. It's a measuring stick.
Yeah, especially with kids, it flies by. Wow. I can't believe I have 4 adults, so there we go. Enjoy every minute of it.
You win.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, we know we have some limited time with you because, like I said, you are very busy. So we'll go ahead and get to the questions. We're just going to ask you one question each. They're going to be very easy. You'll pass the test. Get 100%, and we'll leave you on your way.
Oh, my goodness. Wow.
So I'll go ahead and start
like
out.
Jeopardy here.
Yes, exactly. But you know the answers, so that's
I know. Does that mean I'm an automatic winner?
Yes.
There you go.
In our book, yes.
Well, wait a minute, Greg. You think you know the answers to our questions, but you might not.
I'm going to do my best. I'm going to fake it until I make it. How about that?
Okay.
That works.
We'll call it the hourglass curve.
Yeah.
There you go.
You've had roles in many of the popular soaps as well as primetime series and movies. So we've loved you in everything you've done, and we're wondering if you were given a blank check to make a movie anywhere in the world, what would it be about, and where would you film it?
Wow, you just come out just throwing zingers. Wow, that is a question that I have never been asked to answer, so that is a challenging one.
Thank you. I try to do that. So,
I'm just such a big fan as well of just the TV and the film genre, and very fortunate to consider being a working actor for over 30 years. So I'm very blessed, and I'm very grateful to have had the ability to do what I've done, and to be given the platform by many successful legends that I've been fortunate to read in front of, and that have paved the way for us all. And I was a big Steve McQueen fan, and I tell you this because my grandmother, God rest her soul, and she was an incredible woman, and she was a big Steve McQueen fan, and I think maybe that has a little bit of just, it sprinkled a little something on me into why I watched so much film, I think, early on in my life. But there was a poster so every time, I think my grandfather, when he would go to the cupboard to get food, he would see Steve McQueen, and it just like, he had to step up his game as and he loved cars
right.
as an auto mechanic and stuff. And he just like, it was just like, he was always in competition with Steve McQueen. But he was a good looking chap. But I think, just Bullitt was one of my favorite movies as a kid. And I, really, when I was actually, before I was on Charmed, I had a developmental deal with Charmed, and I'm not with Charmed, with the Warner Brothers network, which is now, as we all know, to the younger demographic, to the generation that still follows the CW, which it used to be the WB. And they were pitching, asking me what I would like to do, and I said I wanted to make Bullitt in like a TV series, because I love the cop dynamic, and it was like Starsky and Hutch. And it was like the Chips, Erica Poncherello, it was like Eric Estrada, Ponch, and, and John.
Series,
I was just, in back like Vegas, I just like anything with cars and really cool guys, cool cats, that was just James Bond, it was just anything with really cool guy and a car, I thought was, right to a woman's heart. Outside of a man in uniform, I always thought if I could just wear a cool jacket, whatever, a cardigan, a turtleneck, or, a leather jacket, and then just ride a cool car, drive a cool car,
Yeah, some cool sunglasses.
Get my own little, so I pitched that. I pitched like a remake of Bullitt, and I think it was just too expensive to bring to television at the time, because Warner Brothers was kind of a new budding network in the late 90s and stuff, and mid 90s. So I would like to do, I think if that was an opportunity, just to dive right in and to do creatively something like that would be fun. And I think it's been done to a certain degree. I think there's been like attempts to do, and I know like what was that? Fast and Furious has done really well. Like I think they've done 7 or 8 movies. So
yes,
it works. It works. I was ahead of the game. At that time I think I had my eye on something, and would have thunk.
Absolutely, and that's something that you could film anywhere. So where would you choose?
Well, it's kind of a city point. I did a guest star on Nash Bridges, and Don Johnson was pretty cool. And so he had a cool car. I think he had what do you have? Somebody out there has to know. He had something, it started with a B, Bugatti. No, not a Bugatti. It was something, it was a really cool sports car. But I would pick a cool city, Chicago maybe. I know San Francisco with Nash Bridges is home base. So
I'm in Chicago. You need to come here.
I think Chicago could be a cool town. It's a little cold for my blood, Being in California for almost 30 years was a nice treat, but it also thinned my blood out a little bit.
Right.
So coming back to Texas is just it's been a wake-up call, because summertimes are really hot, especially in August. So this cold that has come in has definitely made me pull out some jackets.
Yeah, but it doesn't get as cold as Chicago, that's for sure. So you just come and you film it here in the summertime. That's all. You'll be fine.
Yeah,
you'll be fine.
Spring, summer. Yeah, we got 3 months. We don't need much time. I mean, we've learned now with COVID experience and shooting. I did 9 episodes of Queen Sugar in 7 days, so I was like, I can do this.
Oh wow!
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a challenge. That was it was great for me because I just having the mental capacity to digest so much material in a short amount of time, but it's the preparation that it takes time, especially something of that degree, and to the creative aspects of our writers that do such an incredible job in the daytime, but from Queen Sugar and what they write, and then when you're really given the material, when you see primetime actors, when they're given that amount of dialogue, they're kind of like somewhat go into a panic. So for me, it was just like
be in your shoes for one day kind of days.
Yeah, I was like, man, I can do this. Really, I just don't want anybody else to realize how fast I can do this in a short amount of time. Because if they do, are they going to pay me less, or we're going to am I not going to? Are we going to start reshooting this differently? So
yeah, no, you should get paid more.
Yeah, I know. Amen. From your mouth to Ken Corday, and everybody else and Peacock, if you're listening. Yeah. With passion to do it, to be as raw and, organic and present, But,
right.
I've been and hey, I think it's a team effort. I mean, the writing is definitely a major contributor to giving us the latitude, to explore, open our tools, that we possess, as actors, if you will. But I mean, when you have a good co-star and you can play and you can do the dance, you can do about anything, So
exactly.
I feel that is another blessing, it's also who you surround yourself, your team. I mean, it takes a village to do something wonderful.
Absolutely. With just about anything, TVs, movies, whatever you're going to do in that area, you need a whole team for sure.
Oh, for sure. But I know now I think they're, with the way a lot of the genre of television has changed to a certain degree, and now we're into this very big cowboy theme, and Yellowstone being the hit that it was, and then 1883 with Taylor Sheridan's products coming out, and I think a lot of the movement in the commercial world and branding is all cowboy, which everybody seems to be jumping on something that's been around from Bonanza and then some, Rawhide and, Rifleman, all the things that I grew up watching. So, and being a Texan, it's something I was surrounded by and grew up around. So I was just like, man. And I had the pleasure of reading and getting very, very close and screen testing for Rip, which was a great character that Cole Hauser ended up getting, because I think he was a bit more huskier and I was too clean cut, all American. But
I don't know. You can look pretty rough and gruff when you don't shave, and you don't. You just let it go a little bit.
Best. Yeah, it's
still handsome.
A love and hate by many of the fans of our show do not like to see my face covered up too much.
You're good. You're good either way. You're good either way.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know. The shirtless delivery is just a little bit more impactful.
The shirtless stuff.
The shirtless delivery of
Yeah,
right.
I give credit to Ron. Ron and I had a great conversation, before I came on, and he said, "Hey, you look like you've been working out a little bit." And I said, "Well, yeah, I have. Post-COVID, I had a lot of opportunity during COVID to just spend a little bit more time in the cell, if you would. So, and I just my little gym rat that I had. So, and now it's just become my mental outlet, and I love so much. And so he's like, "How do you feel about this?" And I'm like, "It's not my cup of tea, but if it allows me to get on the camera more, I guess I'll do what I have to do for the greater good of the show."
Well, thank you. We so appreciate that.
That's dedication. That's dedication.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thank you. We appreciate that.
Well, I haven't seen the numbers yet, but I don't know if they've dipped a little bit,
No.
So I was like, we might have to keep the shirt on a little bit more.
No.
I mean, because you have the Brandon Beamers and the Rob and the good-looking Rob Wilson, you know.
No, Greg,
right.
Just listen to the demo, the target
Tony
audience.
Geary once said, Tony Geary once said, he's like, you know, I reach a certain age, and I'm not really the guy that wants to take my shirt off anymore. I don't think our audience really wants to see that. So that's how I feel. And
no.
I mean, let's talk about
you're not reading the room right.
Wait a minute, right? Greg, if you feel that way, you know, we respect that. We really do. But
yeah,
you know.
Well, I'm not doing Baywatch, you know, so I feel okay as long as I don't have to do it like at all times, you know. Paul Telfer, Rob, and Brandon, and Eric Martzoff, and all them. They can have their.
Everybody takes a turn.
Yeah, everybody does. Yeah.
Well, recently I feel like I've been doing it more so than I should be.
Well, you know, dedication.
More power
dedication
to
the art.
No complaints here, so we're good. Candace, why
but it's cutting into all my ice cream.
Okay.
So.
Candace, why don't you go ahead and ask your question?
So I'm not going to say that right now I'm actually eating ice cream right now. I shouldn't say that.
Oh, God,
sorry.
That's not fair.
Sorry, Greg. Sorry. Dedication. I will have a extra scoop of ice cream in your honor.
Oh, please do.
Okay,
I hope everybody listening is having a scoop of ice cream right now. Just here's to all you ice cream eaters. I love you.
Yes, because it's in honor of Days of Our Lives anniversary, you being here, Take Two's anniversary, just all around. This is the reason I'm eating ice cream.
Oh, thank you. You're welcome.
Okay.
You're welcome. Dedication. Okay, so I had an original question, but Pam and them told me I couldn't ask you that because it was pretty much the fangirl in me to ask if I could marry you. But
oh, you want to get married?
Yeah.
You're ready to walk down that aisle? You know,
we can elope.
I'm flattered. Elope?
Yeah. We can have the party afterwards.
The party.
Spend the money on the honeymoon.
Yeah. Well, I failed in that department twice, so I feel like
me too. Don't feel bad.
I'm not good at it. And Eric's been married, a couple of times, not done
so well.
So
right.
Yeah.
Well, just throwing it out there. Trust me. I know the feeling. Trust me. Yep. That's a whole different show for another time. But my real question is, we all have a soundtrack of our lives. What is the top 2 songs that would be on Greg Vaughan's soundtrack of his life?
Wow, you guys are peppering me with some good ones. Wow, I love music. God, this is where I need Ted King. Ted King is a music connoisseur. I am an all-around music fan, and I wish I had musical talent because I am a total in-the-closet rock star. I total country western rock star. I love musicians. I'd love to see as many concerts as I could. Oh, damn, that's hard. Because I can't narrow the field because I love so many eclectic groups, I'm a big classic rock guy, from the 80s because that's just, I have a lot of memories that fall into that. Southern rock is a real big instrument to me, but I love the 90s thing. I can't name one. I'm going to have to open that up. So if you don't mind, it wouldn't be 2. There would be many because I'm a Lynyrd Skynyrd fan. I'm huge Southern country rock. But I love the 90s of Pearl Jam, and Eddie Vedder and Chris Cornell, I think, is one of God rest his soul, but he had an incredible instrument, and I had the pleasure of meeting him as well. And so Prince. I mean, Prince is just an incredible gift. I mean, I'm just envious of all that talent. Garth Brooks, in the country, Chris Stapleton. But I love Justin Timberlake, and my kids listen to so much new R&B and hip hop stuff that they're in a whole different thing. I mean, they listen, to music that I'm like, wow. But there's a lot of depth and story in that, I'm more male driven in music than female, but I do love all artists. I appreciate it all. Fleetwood Mac, Stevie Nicks, there's just so many that you can go back to, but I love hearing the younger music. I'm a big fan of all the music reality shows that are this AGT and The Voice and all those. All these artists, and I've been fortunate to work with great actors that are also musicians, and I just am so just admire their ability to have a great ear of music, but to come from family from jazz. Living in New Orleans, I saw so many great bands, just being in the festivals there. I went down to, oh God, what was the name of that? I can't remember. I know everybody. So many different music festivals that I've seen, but the one in New Orleans was incredible. Saw some really great artists, and but it's really hard to narrow for me because I just love music across the board. I mean, it really. I mean, if you saw my music playlist, it would probably surprise a lot of people.
Yeah.
Because I love soundtrack music. I mean, from Eminem to when I go into the gym and I'm boxing, I have a certain kind of a lane that I stay in. But when I'm doing my road trips, I love to hear a certain type of music, that is just right for the drive. And then, in prepping for work, if I need something that kind of helped me get into an emotional state of mind, whatever it may be. It doesn't have to be crying, but it could be just a very deep moment. Then I'll pull something, So
right.
It's really hard, but I love music. I am just a huge fan of all collections and varieties of music. So I feel we're very blessed, to hear the artists that we have today. And it's different, from what my children listen to what, I listen to and to, but I appreciate it.
Yeah. That was a good answer.
Absolutely. Okay. Thank you, Candace.
No
Greg,
problem.
we have two more questions from two more people.
Wow,
Are you
I just
able
feel like
to
I'm getting warmed up.
Well, I don't want
Three, Pam,
to keep you.
Three.
Hey, bring it on. I'd rather. Hey, it's your anniversary, so come on. I mean, we need to do this right. So I've got my kids all independently taken care of. Just me and my dog. Me and my dog in the fireplace right now, so it's good.
All right. Next up is Carolyn.
Oh, you surprised me. Hello, Craig. How are you?
I'm good, Carolyn. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I know we're asking questions, but I just want to say I met you in St. Pete about 4 years ago with this event, and I have to say that you were there was a baseball game and you were late and all the fans were worried, and you made an announcement and you said, "We will stay." Will and you said you would stay until you spoke to every single fan. And you did.
Yep. Yes, ma'am.
And we appreciated it. Yeah, it was, I think you were there till about 1 a.m.
I will do it.
Well, we
all the way, no matter what. Nothing will change. If somebody ever stopped me for any moment and they acknowledge me or my work or any moment, I will just give them every minute that I have.
Oh.
Yeah, that's well, not all stars do that. So I've told that story to so many people. Oh, what was he like? What was he like? I said, well, he was wonderful. Stayed right till the end.
Thank you.
My question is, you were a model at one time, and now on Days, the storyline is with you and Nicole and modeling and photography. Are you a photographer in real life?
In real life, yes. I do that.
Oh, you are?
Yes, I do. I have 3 beautiful models to shoot all the time. My boys, I photograph more than I probably should. My phone is fully loaded, and I can't download any more video or pictures because I don't have the terabytes to do so. So I have to keep paying Apple to give me more backup. Because I love to shoot moments, because I want to capture the moment. And sometimes your phones, having the technology we have today, we are the accessibility to capture something good or bad is more available to us. And I wish there's many things, but I like to capture life moments. If I see something beautiful, sometimes my camera can capture it and sometimes it can't. So I do the best that I can, and just and stop and embrace that moment. And it's always a praying moment for me, actually. It's like gratitude. And I see my kid, like my son's played a basketball game last night and they won 44-13. He did really good. So it was we went from football to basketball, but so they, they are always being photographed, via me. And, but I just love to have memories that it's kind of like something I know that we're in a short moment. And in that moment that if I can capture it to give my kids a memory, I definitely do that for them. And, because I want to see the joy and the smile on their face, and it gives me joy to capture that and seeing them just blossom into the young men that they're becoming, and that's, the joy of life, and to see my contribution to the world come back to me, and through their spirit, through their eyes, through their smile, and they I do love, outside of that, just taking photos. So I've been fortunate to travel the world and be in front of the camera as long as I have been. It rubbed off on me, and I have about 4 cameras that I use outside of my phone. So, I try, I'm not good at sharing it, and sometimes I just keep it for myself. Because of this, I'm so proud and I always want to share personal things, but sometimes it's hard for me to do, especially in this realm that we live in of social media and content, and my hands are so full, my plate is full, and there's many older stuff, but it's trying to be present, and I don't do many photo shoots as much as I used to. Not because I don't welcome it. It's just I don't have the time. Between living in Texas and working in California, I'm on a plane every week, and so I'm living with my boys and my family, and then and going to work and doing that, and then being present, and then counting the minutes until I have to get back on a plane to get home to them, and to be present for their moments. So I was,
we appreciate you taking the time to come on our 10th anniversary. Thank you very much.
Oh, I know. I was so delighted to be included.
Oh, great. That's wonderful. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
And thank you.
For anybody listening, I appreciate it, and much love to everybody, and I hope they're all enjoying our conversation.
Well, I think they are. You have a lot of fans, so I don't think that's going to be a problem. Thank you, Carolyn.
I love them all.
And then we have Anthony. Go ahead, Anthony.
All right. So I have to echo what Carolyn said. We met at a GH event in Long Island a long, long time ago, and you're just a beautiful person. And yes, that does mean shirtless. You're a real guy when you're shirtless, but you, with the fans, you are so gracious and so wonderful. You know, and I've heard that. I worked for the Associated Press for many years, and I've heard, you know, you're one of the best in the business. So I just had to put that in there. My question is a two-part, one kind of funny and one serious. I have to, we have to know, were you jealous that you didn't get to be part of the, you know, that you didn't get to be the devil? And my serious part of that question is, you've worked with a lot of greats, both, you know, in front of the camera, you know, Deidre and Tony, and, you know, and behind the camera at the whole Aaron Spelling, 2 shows, the movies you've done. Yeah. Can you just give us a few of the folks that gave you something that you still use in your acting today? And yes, were you jealous? Did you want to be the devil?
Wow. No, I would not want to have been the devil, or portrayed the devil. I would have been, definitely, I thought Deidre, in bringing back, moment in history, I guess, since she was levitating, it was a bit of a shock when, Albert, our executive producer, called me and he was like, what's my availability? They have this story and they wanted me to come in, and I was going to do this complete, you know, bring the spirit of the Lord into the devil, and then we're going to just, you know, get it gone. And it was quite the scene, and she did such a phenomenal job. But I do have to say, I wasn't in the early part of when that storyline came on, you know, but coming into it, it was quite interesting. And the voice and how they did all that thing in post, I thought was incredible. And I got to catch a few episodes. I really want to give hands down to, like, you know, I mean, applause to Deidre and for Days just to jump into that. And I know it was a risk, but I hopefully, you know, I know sometimes things and storylines run a little longer than they should. So coming back in November, when I came back on contract and it was still happening, I was like, are we not done with this? I thought I just, you know, rid you of Satan and Salem long ago. But, you know, it was jumping. But it was an interesting story. But I'm glad to, you know, have been a little bit a part of it. But as far as like going into things, working with, they're icons to me. And you addressed it, you know, like Tony Geary, Deidre Hall, Drake Hogeston, you know, I mean,
the Aaron Spelling team,
the Spelling, you know, Jason Priestley, who's a good friend of mine, you know, and like, you know, when I go in working with Alyssa Milano and Shannon and Holly on Charmed, and, you know, and been fortunate to do some great movies along the way and work with Academy Award-winning actors. And I'm just, even on Queen Sugar, I mean, Regina Wesley, you know, Don Lynch, they were both Juilliard graduates, you know, and, you know, I've been very, very fortunate in my career to how it's just been put before me, but it doesn't come easy as much as my grandparents. I've always thought that I just smiled in a room and I was given the role, but that didn't work that way. I had to always, you know, go in and compete for an opportunity, you know, to get the role and, you know, and to let my craft, you know, project out there, and hopefully they saw what I was wanting to in the direction that I saw. So I have a lot of memories of conversations, but we never, as my fellow actors, it was never something we shared, or like, what's your method? What's your practice? How do you work? That was something I learned over the course of 30 plus years, to where I would trust myself, not be as hard on myself as I was in the early years that nobody really knows. Acting is a very internal process. It's a very vulnerability that you have to be able to tap into and share. And I see a lot of new faces that come in and struggle with that. And, you know, I try to be a mentor to some of them. And, you know, now that I feel like I've taken that torch in my own way, but I can cover on from daytime to primetime, many actors. But Maurice Bernard, Steve Burton, who I've been fortunate to see more often lately. I've always admired his work as an actor because, you know, he's good looking. The eyes always get you, but he just is such Steve, that is. I mean, Maurice as well. I mean, because I know how much it means to Maurice, but Tony was like effortless. That was just watching magic, watching Deidre Hall, you know, but we have such a really good bond, so we're very there's such an enormous respect for each other. But I mean, Deidre Hall just celebrated, I swear, like 5,000 episodes on Days of Our Lives, which I was just like, wow, that's incredible. 5,000 episodes when you're like thinking about Friends, who just like did 230 plus episodes in 10 years, you know. I mean, she's done 5,000, and that, I mean, and that goes into how long the longevity of what Days of Our Lives has been, and for the foundation of television, from going from radio to half hour to 1 hour, you know, and over the course of the past few years, you know, we've gone internationally, you know, and we have a wide audience from Australia to Europe, South Africa. So I mean, it's global, and so to be a part of that history is monumental. But to be a part of the General Hospital family for the time that I was there, to be at Young and the Restless for a short period, but it was great fun. Gave me some good a landing platform to start. I always lean back to my primetime, my nighttime television of being on Charmed and 90210 and Malibu Shores, and you know, and doing more of that lane, you know, because that's what I feel I'm more qualified in, because I was questioning my own ability in the daytime genre, you know, could I keep up with the speed, the tempo, because it is difficult, and the people don't realize how fast we work, especially now in the way that costs, you know, financially, to keep us afloat and keep us on air. It works. So having fans, that it all comes back to the fans when we have the viewership, domestically, internationally, it just generationally, we're in this new world, you know, and starting in 20 years ago, and to still be relevant is quite the testament to what we can do.
And this is what I think we all meant. You're so generous. Look at how robust that answer was. You're so generous. So thank you so much.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Anthony. And I don't want to forget David. David's been with me for 10 years, and if I skip over him asking a question, he'll come after me. So one more, and
he will too.
One more, and
David,
then
make it good. I mean, and I feel like I should be asking you all some questions, you know.
Oh, that would be great.
Go, have at it.
So
but
here
before
we go
any further, first we're gonna leave it to David to ask something special.
All right. So what advice would Eric of today give to the Eric of yesterday?
Oh man, you all! Did y'all like send out like questionnaires to each other before? I mean, these are like
yes.
I mean, honestly, Eric, God, where he is today. You know, Eric is definitely he is expanding his voice more today, which he hasn't been given. That has been so removed from him for the early years that I was since I came on board. back in 2012. I think I came on for almost 4 years, 3.5 years. And then, I collectively and professionally, I've had a long conversation with Vaughan, and we had a very open dialogue about giving Eric more voice on the show this year. And he has really, and to the entire writing staff, they've really allowed Eric to become the man that he has said that he was. And he is not making some wise choices, and he's just kind of like living a little bit off the rail on the edge, and his heart always seems to bend his navigation in life, but sometimes comes up short. And so I definitely feel that Eric is growing a lot and taking the time that he's needed to really process where he's come from and what he's surrounded by, but who he's surrounded by, and make adult choices, be accountable for his actions. And I definitely think he's matured. It's allowed myself off the camera to do the same. And now I have something else to draw from. And so that's what I've been trying to put more forth into Eric and where he is and where he's going. And, I'm excited for what hasn't been seen and what's coming, because it's going to throw a lot of people, and I hope that people can enjoy the journey. But Eric has definitely become a major factor on the show and a story point, which is long overdue. And I think, I love where we're going and where it's headed. And I look forward to what's to come. I wish that he could give me words at times, but I also want to, I get mad at him for a lot of things that he does that I wish I could change, but unfortunately I don't.
Well, we
do love it. Yes, thank you, David.
Well, thank you, and I thank you all, and I hope, and with all your support and everybody that watches, and Peacock that coming on board, and I know it's difficult for a lot of people around the world and around the country, and who are familiar with how we were distributed and telecast, and now we're on an app, and we're streamed, and from the Peacock, but they are supporting us and behind us in every way imaginable, and more so than ever. And I think it's going to broaden our horizon and give us a longevity that I hope everybody continues to stay a part of.
Yeah,
Hear, hear.
I think anybody that loves Days of Our Lives and has watched it for a million years like we all have is not going anywhere. So, yeah, we're there. But thank you from my heart and from all of our hearts for joining us tonight and staying over and answering the questions that everybody had, even though they took you back a little bit.
Yeah,
we really appreciate it.
I appreciate y'all and continue great success. Another 10 years for y'all, and another 10 years for Days of Our Lives. And once again, this coming weekend, as I hope everybody knows, that we're having our Day of Days event, down at the Xbox Plaza down at the LA Loudon downtown. And if anybody is hearing this and is coming, I look forward to seeing you. And if anybody is tempting to come, you better come, because you don't want to miss it.
Someday.
Awesome.
But thank you. And you guys all have fun, and I'm sure everybody else will that gets to meet you all.
Yes, and I haven't been on the road in a while, so maybe I'll come back and visit some of my favorite cities, wherever you are, in the South, in the North, in the windy city of Chicago, and places I haven't been. I look forward to it, because I do love getting the opportunity and the pleasure of meeting the fans that take the time out of their lives to watch our work. and to our incredible, talented cast. I mean, without them, we wouldn't be there, but the team behind the scenes that makes it happen, you know, our executives, our writers, Ken Corday, I mean, he is the man of magic that carries the legend on. He carries the torch from his family for what they started. And 57 going on 58 years, that's a testament. And just to know that I've put a little bit of sprinkle on that, you know, is nice, and been in a position to make some dreams come true and share it with my family and my kids, and getting that Emmy Award was a blessing, and I hope to have a few more and try to catch Tony Geary.
Oh, yeah. We're counting on it. We're counting on it. Well, Greg,
I know. It's a big wish, but we're working for it.
Hey,
so we won't be talking to you before the holidays, so we want to wish you and your family a happy and blessed holiday, or holidays.
Thank you so many, and likewise to you all. And be safe. Take care of your family and make every minute count. And love you. Give them a hug. Give them all big hugs, and enjoy it.
Thank
to
you.
all of you. Much love, and be safe. And I look forward to your presence soon.
You too. Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Good night,
Bye-bye.
you all.
Good night. Thank you so much.
Good night.
Well,
okay.
you know, it's something about the Take Two magic. We bring out, you know, he's generous. When I said that, it was not fluff to make him feel good. He's a generous human being. But we bring out something in the folks that come to talk with us.
Yeah, we do.
They like to talk. It's a good thing. I mean, I could listen to him talk all night. He has such interesting stories and responses to our questions. You know, it couldn't have gotten any better than that.
No, and it's thoughtful. You know, you can hear him, you know, transitioning and taking the moment to decide what it is he really wants to say. You know, a lot of, you know, I listened to you guys, your interview with Suzanne, again, another one that, but, you know, sometimes you get the standard answers, and you know that they've given them, you know, 100 times over. He was thoughtful. He was giving us he was giving the vulnerability that he spoke about. He was giving to us here as well. It was great.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well,
I'm good over here. I'm okay.
Yep.
Oh my God!
You only had a minor heart palpitation instead of a heart attack, Candace?
It was, you know what's funny? Okay, so obviously we, you know, released the news today that we were going to interview Greg Vaughan, and obviously if you guys know me, you know that I may or may not have a huge crush on him, right? I don't know.
I would not have guessed.
That, yeah, and I too have met him, and he is one of the nicest people you will ever come across. And so for those who are attending Saturday's event, if this is your first time meeting Greg Vaughan, I'm going to tell you right now from personal experience, he's one of those who was just so engaged and understand that you took the time to come and see them.
And the
right?
funds, yes.
And the funds. And he will give you his undivided attention to the point you forget that you're at a soap event because it's one-on-one. He's not even looking elsewhere. He's looking straight at you. It's like you two are the only two in the room when you're obviously in a line.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just listening to him talk now, you forget that you're even doing, you know, a podcast. That you know, it just sounded like a bunch of us talking on the phone, you know. But I think those are the best interviews. I mean, that's why we try to keep it professional but friendly and in a chat way, you know, friendly conversational way.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to request that we start with General Hospital. Is everybody okay with that?
Oh, Lord.
Sure.
Well,
I'm
sure,
sorry.
go ahead.
I have to say this.
That's all right, go ahead.
I had a bit of reservation when I heard the casting of Allie Mills. I said, and I knew who she was playing for about a week and a half before the news broke. And I said, oh, she's great as Pam, but she can't bring Pam to Heather. Well, Miss Allie Mills, if you happen to be listening to this, girlfriend, you have done the job,
right?
And you have done
I know what you're going to say. Yep.
Well, she took, and I listened to another podcast that's pretty famous that she's on this week. She did, from what she tells, a lot of research. Watched hours and hours worth of Robin. And Robin, if you are listening, girl, we miss you and enjoy your retirement. But I want to say that there's never going to be a Heather. No one will ever be Heather the way you're Heather, but I am absolutely loving every moment of Allie's Heather. And I felt like that had to be said.
I couldn't agree with you more. I was watching her today in today's episode, and I thought, I adore Robin. She has always been the Heather, and you just can't imagine anybody, excuse me, anybody taking over that role and doing it justice. But when they said it was going to be Allie Mills, I said, if anybody can do Heather, it can be Allie, because, of how she played Pam. She was phenomenal today. She was just phenomenal. You believe that she's Heather, 100%.
She blew me out of the water the first time I saw her.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
In those scenes with Finn.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, that was good.
And just quick kudos to Lisa Lo Cicero, too. You pulled that scream out, girl.
For real.
I will say this. I'm shredding my divorce papers with General Hospital. I'm completely back on board. I'm loving, there's a couple things that I'm not loving so much.
Yep.
But pace, the weaving, what we complained about for a couple of years straight, basically, they have finally fixed. They're weaving everything together so nicely. They're playing the beats perfectly. I'm really on the edge of my seat, and I will predict this. I think Heather is Esme's mama.
You think so?
Yeah, I tweeted that last night.
I think Heather is Esme's mama.
I know I posed that question to you earlier, but
yeah,
you got
yeah.
I got you thinking, didn't I?
Wow. Well, and I like what you said the other day, Anthony. Everybody's of course wondering who the hook person is, and you mentioned that maybe it's Trina in a blackout status, multiple personality or something, and I thought, hey, that would be a twist. That would be great.
The only thing that twists me up about that is, there's no pulling her out of that. There's no, she's going to get off somehow on a technicality.
Well, she could always go to the cuckoo farm for a little while. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But
it wouldn't be the first time.
Imagine she ends up getting locked up with Esme's mama.
Right?
And
let's throw Nina back in there for a while, just for the heck of it. All right, so I'm going to give you my pet peeve with GH2. I have two of them.
Is it mine too?
First and foremost, I am so tired of the plot point where they use the "I've got to take this" telephone call, and they disappear. They don't even just step away from the table or go to the end of the room or step out of the room. They gone. They just gone. It's used too much. General Hospital, please find a new plot point to move people out of the conversation that, you know, you don't want them to hear certain information. And my second and more, you know, deep ingrained pet peeve at the moment is I love Nina. You all know this. And I'm even a Nina and Sonny fan, or at least I was until very recently. I am so tired of hearing Nina say the same things over and over and over again. Yeah. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I got pushed to. It wasn't my fault. There's only so many times we can hear the same theme over and over and over again. And you have a powerhouse. You have a powerhouse in this woman. She was Annie for, you know, that word's sake. You know, you have a powerhouse and you are wasting it with, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do it. No one's ever going to like me. Okay, you know, it's been a year of this now. Come on, GH. Yes. Recognize what you have and use it. My saving grace to my pet peeve is, I think when it all starts to come out, we're going to see some amazing work for all the actors involved. For Caitlin, for Laura as Carly, for Nick, we're going to see some amazing work. So I'm willing to put up with it for a little bit more if this payoff that's coming. And I have to say, I do not believe that this is the end of the Jeff Weber storyline. I'm with Finn before he found out, you know, before he walked out the door. I don't think this is the truth. Don't you think there will be a confrontation? So I agree with that. Yeah.
With Finn and Jeff?
I think the whole thing.
Finn and Jeff.
I think there's going to be a confrontation with Finn and Jeff. I think there's going to be a huge confrontation with Elizabeth and her parents, both of them. You know, what I'm going to say to all the fans out there who are lambasting at the moment, this is not the end of this storyline. I promise you. Keep watching. There's more coming. I can't tell you what it is because I don't know, but I have been told by my sources in GH that we're going to see a second wave of this storyline at the end, towards the end of November sweeps, going into December. There's another wave of this. So stop lambasting it. You know, you're right. Some of the pieces don't make sense. They don't add up. What does the fire in Franco studio have to do with any of this? I get you. I hear you. But let's give it a little more time because more's coming.
Yep. And I just wanted to add, because it was so brief like that, I'm not buying what Jeff and Carolyn are selling.
Nope. But I will say, I think they did William and what is her name in real life? I think they did a great job.
Yeah, I can't think of her name either. I love William Armoza.
Denise.
He's one of my favorite actors for many years. So I'm glad to see him on there. I don't buy it either. Not for 1 second do I buy that story. She may have pushed her down the stairs accidentally, but there's something more to that story.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think, and I hope Finn is not mad at Liz, because Liz was a kid, and she told the truth once she found out what it was. And if anybody should be mad at her father and her mother, especially her father, since his wife had an affair with him. But when he walked out on Liz, I was like, is he mad at her, or he's just upset at the whole situation in general?
So let's pick this apart for a second, because we really have to think about it. First and foremost, he became a drug addict over all of it. He gave up, years of his life over all of this.
Right.
Then, he fell in love with Hayden, and look at what she did to him. So his first reaction to walk out the door, I don't blame him for that. This is Finn. Finn, who loves Roxy, the little throwback to One Life to Live, by the way, but who loves Roxy, the little lizard. he's going to come around, but he has every right to have had that reaction. Every woman in his life, and the one who didn't betray him up to this point, the saint that he couldn't save. Think about that. He couldn't save her, and he almost destroyed his life because he couldn't. And now she was knocking boots with Jeff Weber.
Yeah.
No, I can't blame him for the reaction. I don't think ultimately he's mad at Elizabeth. I will definitely be on board for conversations and scenes where, how can I ever trust any woman? It's not you specifically, Liz, but every woman has because she didn't tell him the truth when she drew the picture, et cetera, et cetera. He gave her every opportunity to kind of let him in and respected her wishes and stepped back. But he didn't know it had anything to do with Reiko. Once he found out, it is so understandable that this is his reaction.
Yeah.
But he's going to come through for us. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think after he steps back and really thinks about it, he will.
Yeah.
He definitely will.
Okay. Does anyone think that little piece of paper did not say, yes, you are a Scorpio? Is there anyone here who doesn't think that?
It did.
Oh, it did.
It did say that. I'm like 99% sure that that's what I saw. I mean, the paper went so fast but I could swear it said, you are the father. Well, not in those words, but you know what I mean. I'm doing my Maury moment.
All right, Maury.
And you know why he lied?
No, why? Because he feels he's not good enough?
No, the necklace.
You think that's the only reason?
Yeah, because Britt says he has more of a whole...
Princess? Pam, come on now.
Well, I mean, he kind of felt, to me, it looked like he really did want to be part of that family. And that's why I was like, okay, so why is he lying about it? So if it's just the necklace, but he felt like he wasn't good enough. But if it's the necklace, then yeah, I get that too. But let's see who's going to get their hands on it.
Along with that necklace,
he'll probably get his hands on it instead of Victor because maybe that's what's going to make Britt leave. Which I hate that she's leaving, but I'm happy for her.
Me too. But she did say that she will be coming in on recurring basis. So this isn't the end of Britt, period.
Right. But you get used to seeing her. I love her character.
Yeah.
I love her. So,
I do too.
it's gonna be kind of hard not seeing her all the time, but, you take what you can get.
Yep.
Okay, Frank, Chris, and all the powers that be, I got another tip for you. We need more information. We're done with these cryptic little visits between Mason and Austin. It's time to let us know that Selena Wu is the big boss. It is time to let us know that Selena's the big boss. Yes.
Too long.
It's like you get to the point when they drag these out so long, some of these things on any of the soaps, that you just don't care anymore.
Kind of.
You don't even care if you get an answer or not,
And is this woman, could it be Selena?
I think it's Selena.
Yeah, I think so too.
They keep teasing that Selena has a much bigger role coming up. There's a master plan, and they sent Sean off to the West Coast, and there was supposedly ties of the West Coast coming here. They dropped that storyline. They found a very clever way to bring back Holly, though I wish that Holly was actually Paloma and not the real Holly. But, I'll go with it. Emma Samms has long COVID. She really can't stay long.
Yeah.
So, I'd rather have her here and under this kind of storyline than not have her at all.
I'm with you there.
But I do wish it was Paloma instead of. But then again, we played that storyline, Alex, and how many evil twins are out there, Ryan?
Right.
How many evil twins are out there? So it's an interesting way to play it. Thankfully, my Lucy, you all know my bad AZZ, love from back when she was the mousy librarian that suddenly took off her jacket with Dr. Kevin Terry's husband, and it was like jaw drop, like, oh, this is Lucy Coe. You cannot kill off my Lucy. You cannot kill off my Lucy.
Dead.
I really don't believe she's dead. Victor's got her somewhere.
Exactly. Victor's got Luke. He's got Ethan. He's got Lucy. And probably a couple other people. We're gonna start calling Victor David Hayward Cassadine.
And the thing is, he's blackmailing Emma, and I was thinking that he has Ethan. So
he's got to have Ethan. Yeah,
he does.
That line that
and
he
he's
said,
holding Robert over her too.
I'll kill him. Remember, I'll kill him.
Yes. Yeah. So that was my thought exactly. Mm-hmm.
Holly does love Luke. It could be Luke, but I think it's both Luke and Ethan.
I
she
think
doesn't know that
and Robert. I think
no, he doesn't have Robert. He's holding Robert over her head, but he doesn't have Robert. We're talking about who he has.
Oh, who he has. Okay.
Yeah, no, he wasn't saying that he would kill Robert, David. He was saying he would kill whoever it is that he's holding.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So I seriously believe 100%. I don't even think. I mean, she would probably work along with Victor if he had Luke, but I also think that she would probably tell Robert or Anna or somebody. But when it comes to her son, she's not gonna. Yeah, she's not gonna marry, and she's not even gonna try to talk to anybody and say, "Hey, help me." He's got my son. She's not even gonna take that chance. Because Victor is everywhere, and he seems to know everything about what's going on with who and when and how and why. So I could see it being that way. And speaking of, like, he always has an eye on Maura. What's her name?
Ava.
And I think, she's on to him completely, and she's going along with some of the game, but she's also fighting back. And Nicholas almost got the hook, and I thought at first it was the whack job pretending to be the hook, just so she had, could get away with killing him, but now I don't think it was her.
I keep seeing on social media, this is another pet peeve, actually. How are all these people getting on and off Spoon Island? Yeah, all the boats. He's got security. You're telling me he's got like 12 security on that island. They don't see all these boats coming and going? Where is it? Is there stashed scuba gear somewhere? Is there tanks and a mask and come on, how are all these people getting on and off Spoon Island? I'm sorry, I just had to say it. I love my soap opera fans because, and the Moss was back. Did you see the Moss, Pam?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Candace is back.
I have to say this, too. I love that Ned, I don't love, I love and hate that Ned threw the little securities exchange insider trading thing out.
Mm-hmm.
I love and I hate it. However, why didn't Carly go immediately to her best girl bestie? I know she's pulling it up with Sam now, and I love that, and I love that she's getting more enriched female relationships. But why didn't she go straight to her bestie and say, yo, your husband's getting up in my stuff, and you know me. You would think. You know me. I love you, but I will take him down or throw him down a flight of stairs, whichever comes first.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep. That's
Candace
so
girl?
true.
Oh.
Yes.
We've been talking GH. Any?
Lord! Wow!
Come on, girl. What do you
Okay.
mean? Go ahead, girl.
Because seriously, this has been my trigger for the last couple of days. Anybody who's followed me on social media, Twitter, Face, and all that, you know how I felt about General Hospital. Okay, General Hospital, you kicked off your 60th season a couple of weeks ago. We're now in the 60th season. The actual anniversary coming up soon. How do you the whole Jeff Weber, the Weber storyline, how did you mess this up?
It's not messed up, Candace. There's more coming.
No, but
I don't know what it is.
Mama's the one that pushed such and such down the flight up. Bet any amount of money.
Yep.
Esme is Jeff and Heather's child. It's too predictable. That's the problem. Like, yeah, you gave us everything for fans who've been waiting 25 years. You gave us some good acting from Rebecca Hurt. And I'm saying it now. This girl better be nominated for an Emmy next year. Because if not, I'm seriously going to have an issue. You played all the beats on last Monday. Her saying you weren't there for me when I was raped.
Yeah,
The
that
death
was heart-wrenching
and the grief and the
listening to
birth.
her.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that you're going to say, in all honesty, the whole kit and caboodle is because they weren't there for her for 25 years because of Finn and Finn's wife. I have a problem with that. I have a problem with that. My thing is that you really did go back and took a little bit of what happened with Laura and Rick Weber, and then you went ahead and you took a little bit of Luke's story because of Patricia. Remember Patricia? I bet some of y'all don't remember her because we haven't heard about Patricia in forever. But to me, General Hospital has done this 5 times where they build a story up, and it's like you're plotting. You took Elizabeth and the Webbers, right, to give more story to Finn. What is wrong with that picture?
Exactly. All intents and purposes, bring back the other Rebecca, a.k.a. Hayden,
here's the thing.
and give him...
Well, here's the funny thing. So I'm a person that does context clues, right? Okay, number 1, Elizabeth is from Colorado, not California, because here's the thing. Sarah Weber in 2003, see, this tells you long-term General Hospital fans, you know where I'm going at with this. She moved to California because that's where Elizabeth went to because her parents were still over in Africa. That's where she gave birth to Cameron at, in California. Yep. She never ran away. They pretty much said you can live with the next door neighbors. Elizabeth went ahead and wanted to come to a family member because she's like, if Sarah can come to Port Charles, so can I. Okay. How old is Finn?
I'd say 55.
Oh, okay. Now he's 55? Because I'm like all confused with the
Finn,
timeline.
55?
Right.
I don't think Finn is 55, though.
But what I'm saying is...
Based on Elizabeth's story, yes.
Right. They aged him.
They did. They aged him for Anna.
Right.
They aged him for Anna.
And here's another thing. G.H. writers, I know you probably don't know, but I'm going to help you out. 6 years ago, when Michael Easton came on as Finn, he was already in development of a cure or, doing more of the Blackwell disease. This is why he was experimenting with the drugs. It's pretty bad when I just went down the whole correct history of everybody. But now you're making Jeff a 2-time cheater, maybe 3. Did I start with that? Because you got to fit in Hayden. You got to fit in Hayden.
Yeah.
After Mark Esme. And then you had Rico Suave, as I've been calling her. Finn's wife. That's what I've been calling her. But then you have the flip side, the mother. You know, GH, I'm keeping my divorce papers, but I'm going to do something that I've never done before. I'm going to Amazon Prime it. Because I want to make sure you get it within 48 hours. Because in 48 hours, there better be a twist in this. Because I saw yesterday's episode with Elizabeth and Finn, and I was like, I didn't expect for that to happen now. It's amazing how you can rush certain storylines. You do a slow pause on it. You wait 6 to 9 months. Then you get back to it. And act like this is all brand new. And like this is the best thing since I don't know what. But this Elizabeth storyline, like I said, I can separate the acting from the storyline. But as a fan of General Hospital, as a fan of Elizabeth Imogene Weber, I felt as though I got duped. I knew, and the sad thing is I knew GH was going to do it, but I actually believed, call me crazy, that they were actually going to give me Elizabeth's point of view. I thought that something, because once they said we brainwashed her, we hypnotized her, I was done. I was like, see, I get it, but I was like, I don't get it, because they made them a little bit too much for me. And GH, I know you were trolling the fans, because we've all said every new character that's come on your canvas, you have given them within 6 months a whole family, while poor Elizabeth is there. And when she said this line, I was waiting for you guys to come and get me. I was like, yeah. I'm done. And then when Caroline, when they said, because this has been irking me, and Anthony, everybody knows this, you followed Jake on his social media page to find out what was going on with Elizabeth, instead of calling her and being a parent and finding out what's going on with your child. And then you're going to try to take credit for her? Oh, no. So when Elizabeth said what she said, no, you do not get to take credit. I stood up in my house and I was, because I was like, y'all need to sit yourselves down. Like, don't do that. And sadly, we know people who will take credit for how their kids' lives are, even if they're not a part of it. But for them to do that, but the bigger picture is, GH, you actually ruined the Weber family. You ruined Jeff Weber the same way you did with Rick Weber. You ruined Caroline Weber. We never met this woman, but you kind of ruined her, especially if what I just said is true, that she hypnotized or made Elizabeth, like planted that in her head. But in reality, it was her. It was the mama that pushed Rico Suave.
All right, and I'm going to go you one better, Candace, because I'm not even going to accept that mama did it. I'm not going to accept that Jeff did it, and either way, and they had to brainwash her. The only way that this storyline is going to be a winner for me, and since the Weber family is already destroyed, might as well go full force. Rico walked in and found Jeff doing something to Elizabeth, and Mama brainwashed her to forget that and make her think she pushed Rico down the stairs, and bing, bang, boom, it makes it all worth it. That's the only thing that I can conceive of at this moment that makes the rest of this storyline worth it. And again, to all the fans out there, I hear you. It has nothing to do with burning down Franco's studio. They pivoted somewhere. This is not the original storyline. This is not the original storyline. They pivoted somewhere for some reason.
Yeah, Jeannie Francis said it at the General Hospital event like a couple of weeks ago. The original storyline was supposed to be a mental health storyline. That was, and we all saw that. That was the beginning stages. But the problem is, Anthony, I would agree with your story idea. It's just, no offense, I saw this with Laura. I saw this when Jeannie Francis was about to leave the show, and they had her in that awful storyline of her realizing that Rick Weber killed somebody, stuff like that. me personally, and I'm going to be honest, if they were to do that, like I said, I would have such a problem with that. And because of what we know about Elizabeth Weber, that she's a rape victim. She's an emotional abuse victim. Okay? So, in order for this storyline, because I'm going to be honest, Dan, Chris, what's up? I got to think like you sometimes. I have to go there and ruin a character. So I'm ruining Mama because we the audience, do not have enough history with Mama that they can actually put her under the bus, throw her under the bus. And it could be the fact of her bringing up Hayden's
like
mama.
Nurse Mary Pat.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Like, that's the thing. Because right now, General Hospital, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 storylines right now that you have no idea what you're doing with. You're actually going back to one storyline from February of this year. The other ones, I'm just like, the other one with Willow, it writes itself, and you're not even going to do it. But it's got to be a plot point for all of them. I'm just like, and like I said, the icing on the cake is Elizabeth. Like I said, Rebecca Hurt, Rhea Moss, and Denise Cosby, great job acting-wise. But part of this storyline, I'm just like, how did you make it about Finn? But this is what they do.
And I'm sorry, I got one more bone to pick in all this. I didn't even think of this before because I gave a couple other bones that I'm picking with GH before. You know, we have not killed off Grandma Audrey, and we have not sent her to another town. She's still living in the same house, and the boys go to visit her every once in a while. I'm sorry. But during all this that we didn't get, and I love the I cannot think of her name right at the moment, and I love Merriweather, the one that stepped in for her. So, you know, if Rachel can't come, and Merriweather can't come, there are plenty of actresses who could step in the role because, Candace, at least you'll admit this. Cuckoo Pam playing Heather, okay, you done did it good. There are plenty of actresses out there who could come in and play Grandma Audrey.
I agree with you. And see, here's the thing. General Hospital, again, you brought in Heather Weber, right? So, again, I'm like, okay, let's fit Heather Weber into, like, if you take a look at the canvas, right, because it's going to make sense what I say. There's no real reason Heather Weber should be there. Just work with me, right? However, she could be the reason.
She's that same mama.
Not only that, I'm about to do some fill-ins. See, this is what we call fill-ins. You take a character, because when she started attacking Elizabeth, that was out of nowhere. I'm going to be honest.
Yep.
Franco's been dead now for a year. I can get you being pressed at Olivia because she, like you said, married up, and Stephen Lawrence is still in prison. Okay. But let's be real for a second. Right now, we have a hook storyline going on, right?
Right.
Okay. So right now, it decided to take a break until recently. They was like, okay, we need to do somebody. We need to kill somebody. Okay. Then you got this whole, ironically, Heather came on the same day as Jeff. Okay. And then you got the whole, who's Esme's biological mama? To me, Heather is a fill-in. Oh, but wait, I got one even better for you, because I bet none of you thought about this. It's going to be 2 years coming in either April or May that Franco died, right? Okay. But also, it was the start of Elizabeth's storyline. You know, the yin-yang, wiggy-wuggy, up and down, round the bend, trying to figure out if she got DID, split her, twin sister, evil stuff. $20 say Heather is the one that was messing with Elizabeth. And that's why Elizabeth was thinking she was going crazy and saw Franco and all that stuff. Mark my words. That's General Hospital.
There you are.
Fill in.
Yep.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of things I'd like to talk about as far as General Hospital is concerned, but we have 35 minutes left, so we need to start hitting on some of the other
go to days.
So let's do days so Carolyn can talk instead of just listen, and
Carolyn,
hopefully stay
there?
on because she's here.
I'm here. I'm here.
And did the wind die down?
No, it's still, geez, I'm listening to the trees hit my garage door, and I'll go out later and see what's going on. Palm fronds on my deck. No, the wind's still kicking.
Well, it's not gotten stronger, has it? Is it a tropical storm still?
Yeah,
which
it's still
is bad enough.
Just lingering. They say it'll pass over probably in another hour or so. But you get the bands after it leaves. You get the bands. Sometimes they're even worse.
Yep.
Well, just stay safe. So go ahead and tell us what you want about days, woman.
What's everyone's thoughts on who's the actor that's coming on soon? Burton? I'm not familiar with him.
Steve
You
Burton?
didn't watch you didn't watch the two Peacock events?
No.
Oh, honey,
well,
go
you
and
got
watch.
Peacock now. You can watch those.
Yeah.
Those are still on there.
Go back and watch at least Beyond Salem 2, because he wasn't in the first one. The first one is great too.
Yeah.
You should go back and watch that one too.
Oh yeah.
But for now, go back and watch Beyond Salem 2 because
so you can get a rough idea.
You can get
who's the
feel of it.
So are you guys happy that he's going to be on there, or what's your take on it?
I'm not.
Well, Ron says it's an exciting story, so I like to believe him, and I think that if it's for him, I'm keeping an open mind.
I don't have a thought either way yet. I want to see what they're going to do with him because, he was involved with Hope. I mean, that was a whole storyline on Beyond Salem, too. So how is that going to happen with him being in Salem and there's no Hope? I don't get what's going to happen there.
There's no Hope. There's no Sierra and Ben.
Right.
Hopefully they'll give him the comedic moment when he meets Alex and says, wait, what's your name?
Right. Yeah.
I don't see it. And honestly, since the COVID protocols have changed, I'm sorry, but I want him back on General Hospital.
I'd like to see him back on GH as well. I know there's a lot of people that want him, and there's a lot of people that don't want him back on GH.
It's a mixed
And you know what? I don't have a problem with, he didn't want to get the vaccine. That's his option. That's his prerogative, and he left the show because they needed to, it was a mandate. But he never said anything bad about them. So to me, they left on good terms.
Yeah, I was
I followed it a little bit. He was a gentleman. And, it's just another great divide. We've got 50 that, are for him and 50 are against. So here we go again. But I know you guys are great General Hospital fans. And I was just wondering your feeling on him coming over to days. What the storyline is going to be.
The thing is, there's nobody on canvas right now from his first run, way back before he ever was Jason Quartermain. Forget about Jason Morgan. There's nobody left on canvas that he interacted with. And Hope has made it very clear, Christian has made it very clear she's not coming back. Ben and Sierra are gone. So there's nothing that ties into this canvas. So
that's why I can't figure out why he's coming. I mean, that just makes no sense.
I'll tell you exactly why. Because he's got a big enough fan base that they got him to the mothership.
But I'm talking storyline. I know, But no, I agree with that.
It's gonna be, and they do this. Dave, I love you, and there are certain things right now that I am very on board for.
And it's driving me crazy.
Said that, though,
I'm forcing myself to quit.
Oh,
I guess it's
all right then.
Yeah, they want the following. They want his following, And
they brought Lisa Rinna back. When they brought Duck Lips back, and man, she was quacking when she came back. When they brought Duck Lips back, there was such potential. There was so much they could have done with her. All they wanted was the ratings. All they wanted was the buy-in because she was going to be back for those couple of weeks. Bam. Every time they do this, it ends up being a throwaway story that you don't really care about. In fact, you might even get annoyed about.
Is he under contract, or is it just a temporary thing, or does anyone know?
He's on contract.
They haven't.
I heard contract.
I don't think it's come out yet.
I heard contract.
As far as I know, they haven't released whether it's a contract or just an arc.
Just a tease.
Okay. So I have to say this because, all right, when Steve Burton made a decision, and keep in mind, he made a decision, and he had to live with that. When he made that decision, General Hospital had to figure out certain things to do to kind of, they rewrote storylines because they didn't have Jason there. Obviously, with Carly, the whole Drew factor, because real honesty, they just don't know what to do with Drew right now. And, of course, with Britt. Okay. I know a lot of fans was like, well, when the mandate is lifted, Steve Burton could come back to General Hospital. Here's the thing. Yes, he could have come back to General Hospital. But at the end of the day, whose decision is it to come back to General Hospital? Steve Burton.
It's his.
Frank Disney could say, hey, Steve-O, baby, you want to come back? Steve could say, you know what? We had some good times. But no, I'm not coming back. And that's clearly what happened. Keep in mind, during the time he was off of General Hospital, he did Days of Our Lives.
I'm not sure about that. Only because mandate was.
I'm just saying, okay, because I'm gonna tell you another reason why I think him not being at GH is a good thing, and it's also a bad thing too. Because here's the thing: currently on General Hospital, the landscape of General Hospital is too much clutter. It is too much clutter on that show, and we all know that if they try to squeeze Jason in, you know exactly where he's going to go at, and that's not even a clutter-free zone, because he would be in Sunny, Nina, Carly Drew's orbit. Sam and Dante, maybe, I don't know, but really he's going to be back where he was a few years ago. Keep in mind, they messed up his return in a way, too. Now, on the flip side, real talk, me personally, would not feel comfortable going back to a place where I made people feel uncomfortable. In other words, when you made the decision to go against, and again, you're right and everything, but you did put a lot of things on pause. You did have some people who kind of was like, oh, well, okay then. So selfish reasons, because some people thinking this, selfish reasons, he's doing this instead of being a team player, da-da-da-da-da-da. You have some people over at Prospect Studios who probably are thinking like that. Because when the news came out the first time about this, there was a lot of mixed responses. Some people was like, Steve should have done it. Some people was like, no, Steve shouldn't. It created a lot of drama in the workplace, like somebody else. But we ain't talking about that. But he was able, Steve, like you said, Steve spoke about it one time, and he dropped it. He's like, it is what it is. I have nothing but love for General Hospital. They were my home. They were my family. Keep it moving. I'm still an actor. And then a couple of weeks later, breaking news, he's going to be on Salem too. The character he played was the first character he ever played on the soap. I thought he did really good. He was acting. Do you see what I'm saying? He was acting and not Stone Cold. He did this with Young Russell. He was acting. There was an opportunity. Now the thing is that, with Beyond Salem, a lot of people did tune in, not to just see Bo and Hope. I mean, granted, that was the headline. But to see Steve Burton on another soap and see how well he was going to gel. Now, the article said he's going to be working with Deidre, and I'm going to throw it out there. Get ready for the Search for Bo Brady 2023, only on Days of Our Lives, exclusively on Peacock, because they have to start doing that. I think that's where he's going to fit at, but I do want to see how he does with everybody else on canvas. Yes, I wish that Jason was back on General Hospital, but I'm going to be honest, I don't trust them with Jason Morgan at this point with General Hospital. It's crazy. I wish Steve, if you're listening, step on by. We'll talk to you. But I do hope that everybody keeps an open mind. I do hope for Steve Burton's, great success for him at Days of Our Lives. Ron, Ken, crew over there, take care of him. And obviously you did because he said yes.
Well,
do you
think that he ran his course on General Hospital? What are your views? No.
Wait, you said do we think he ran his course?
Yeah.
How can I answer that?
You mean story-wise?
Yeah, story-wise.
No, I don't think so.
Story-wise or character-wise, because I can go either or with this.
Okay. Another 50.
Okay, and I'm gonna say this. This is the reason why he did not run his course, because there's one more story that always needed to be told with him. A bullet, he's falling down the stairs. This being submerged under 3 million tons of dirt or whatever it is. There was the story that was never told that he gets he gets the first memories back, where he's got all his whole life with Jason Morgan.
All these years we've been waiting.
Yeah. But Jason Quartermain brain comes back, and he's got to rectify and understand, between the two versions of Jason. That would be a storyline that would be amazing.
But Anthony, let's be honest real quick. The Sonny storyline that we're seeing right now, that we saw from Nixon Falls on up, to be completely honest, our listeners know this probably, but that was supposed to be Jason in the sense of you have Jason who has to be
Candace, they had to switch that. This wasn't the way the storyline was supposed to go. Sonny was supposed to come back still with no memory, and he was going to be Jason in reverse order. Jason was going to...
Yeah. And remember, but you supposed to be with him. It was supposed to...
Hello. You two have great storylines. You always come up with your slant on the storyline, but it doesn't mean to say that that's what the writers of the show wanted to do. Now, I've seen comments that they're just... I don't... You know that I don't watch, but I follow a little bit. And a lot of them are just saying it's too much Sonny. Come on, I can hear what you're saying, that there seems to be like some favoritism.
Well, no,
but Carolyn, that was the planned storyline. He was going to come back still with amnesia, and it was going to be the reverse storyline of when Jason Quartermain lost his memory and became Jason Morgan. It was going to be Sonny is now the quote-unquote protege, and Jason at that point was running the business and married to his wife. And he was going to have no memory.
Oh, okay.
So, when the mandate came down...
the Ava factor. But you got to remember Ava, because here's the thing. Ava is the one who found patient 6. At that time, Sonny and Carly did not really like Ava, right? So to have Ava be the one to find Jason and kind of use that to her advantage in a weird way, that was supposed to create the drama between Sonny, Carly, Nina, and all of them. Sort of like what they're doing with Sonny, Nina, and Carly, and Jason. They pretty much was like, okay, we couldn't do it right. Let's try again with these characters. Mm. If it doesn't work, because that's what they've been doing lately with General Hospital. I'm sorry, I'm going to say it. It's like they start out with a story or a character. Then it's like, we made a mistake. Oh, well, we're too deep in. Let's try again with somebody else. So we went from Jason to Sonny. We went from Nell to Esme. We went through Cody, Peter. You see what I'm saying? It's like you come out with the same thing, but then it's like, oh, wait, this isn't working. Let's try again with these people.
Yeah. All right. For the sake of time, and we're going to have to be quick, let's jump over to the Bold and Beautiful. David, you start us off because you've been quiet tonight. What are you loving and hating on Bold?
What am I loving and hating on Bold? I cannot stand Ridge at all because he's not being fair to Brooke. I don't think he's right for any of those women. And I think they should both dump him. But, I'm just a fan. And that annulment is just a piece of garbage. I can't believe he's doing that. They've been married. How does an annulment fit that? And they consummated it. I can't see an annulment. In other news, Thomas is the person he's always been. And I cannot wait for that voice app to show up. And I think Douglas might be the one to point that out to everybody. I look forward to that. I do like it with Matt and Annika's scene where she stopped him, but I'm not certain that's what she wanted. I hope it is. I think it's just going to prolong and make Thomas worse because she did that.
I'm just going to say this. If this is your way, Bold, of pulling Steffi and Liam back into each other's orbits, I'm done. I hope I'm wrong, but I can kind of see the writing on the wall. Go, Candace.
Ridge is crap. Brooke, you better get your power suit and act like the Brooke Logan I know you are. Taylor, girl, it was nice to see you. Hi, Kristen Allen. I was wondering where you was at. I can't with them. Thomas, no shock. Look, when we saw that voice recorder thingamabob, I was like, oh, Lord, somebody's going to play with it in a wrong way. Because and Ridge, okay, check this out, Ridge, you don't even, I can't, next, but I still watch the show. Darn it, Bo. I still love you.
I know. I'll say I'm done.
Sam?
I'll never be done.
I pretty much agree with everybody. I mean, we're back to the tired storylines, and I know of an actor that is tired of a storyline being repeated, and I can't say I blame any of them, and whoever feels that way. There's a million stories to tell, but they're not being told. And you know what's going to happen next. Everybody can figure out what's going to happen next. If they blindside us with something, I'll eat my words.
Me too. Exactly.
I know nothing.
Yep. So, that's it for that. Young and the Restless.
That was sweet. Short and sweet.
Yep. You like that, Carolyn?
Let me just say this real quick.
1 star, 2 stars, 3 stars, 4.
It was like 1 star. Real quick. I have to say this about Young and the Restless, and I think all of us will agree with this. Melissa Claire Egan, Melissa Claire to the Egan, lead actress nominee.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
You know, it's funny. I think all of us have been fans of Melissa since All My Children on up, right?
Yep.
And to see her really grow into these characters, right? Whether it's Crazy Annie or Crazy Chelsea, right? No pun intended. And for a while, we kept saying, what is the point of Chelsea being on the show? Like, in all honesty, and sometimes that happens when a character is just there and it's like, okay, what is the point? First and foremost, Young and the Restless, Josh Griffin, and crew. I never do this a lot. I I've been giving you a lot of, but you guys went there with this storyline.
You did.
To the point where I got scared because, and see, this is why we talk about soaps, that the fact that we're supposed to feel these emotions, because in the moment, I mean, and they've been throwing clues at us. Seriously, this is a real life situation. People sometimes do not pay attention to the signs of people who are suicidal or is going through a mental breakdown. Even, of course, people who are going through it themselves doesn't know it until it's too late, in a sense. A couple of weeks ago, there was a scene where Billy and Chelsea was outside on the roof, and they were just talking. And I said, why do I had a feeling I wasn't going to see the last of that. Even though I said, okay, Young and the Restless, you're redoing Billy and Amanda. But I was like, there's something not right with this. The fact that she was pushing for the two boys to know each other, that she wanted Johnny to know that she was the mother, and Connor said, so basically you gave the child up. The fact that Victoria, like, everything was coming at her at once.
Right.
That week, that Monday, first and foremost, when Young and the Restless had that freaking warning, I was like, wait, that's the first time in its 50 years. They never had a warning like that. I was like, something is not, what are we about to do? When I saw, and by the way, Young and the Restless, beautiful shot. I forgot that was a green screen. I forgot that y'all was actually a soap for a minute. I really thought I was looking down at the GC streets. I was like, holy crap. When she said, when Billy got there, and I know people had issues about this, when she said, tell Connor I slipped, I was like,
oh my God.
I said, we're not going there with this. When she went, it's amazing because I saw a lot of people talk about this storyline and saying, oh, Young and the Restless trying to sugarcoat Chelsea because now everybody's going to be like, oh, Chelsea is so hurt and she's like a little flower. You can't. And I'm thinking to myself, first and foremost, like people said, she needs to pay for her crimes. Here's the thing. I'm going to be real talk will Take Two Radio. Going to jail, paying people back and stuff like that, that's one kind of punishment. When you're about to end your life because of the consequences that you made, you know the term, you dealt with all the consequences, now you got to lie in your bed. That's what Chelsea has been doing. She's literally been making her bed. Being a con artist to the stuff she did with Billy, Adam, da-da-da. Jail time is easy peasy. But the fact that you said that people would be better off and you would be better off if you weren't there, that is the ultimate punishment. I'm sorry, keeping it real. Because I know so many people who've gone through this.
Because at that moment, what she's telling us is, I don't even know myself anymore. And I don't know how long it's been since I knew myself. And I can't find a way back to myself. But don't break my son. Tell him I slipped. That's what she was really saying. It was so good.
I was like,
the double entendre.
And Jason Thompson, honey, you, Mark Grossman, Sharon Case, all of y'all, I'm throwing awards at y'all because y'all did some good supporting work too because everybody was like, why Billy? I was like, it would make sense for Billy because guess what? Billy is actually dealing with a mental crisis himself. He deals with imperfection. He has a crutch. See, Chelsea is his crutch.
And wait, I'm sorry, but I got to throw one thing in there too. Delia.
Oh yeah.
We can't forget Delia either.
I mean, Delia's a part, but let's look at the whole cycle of Billy here. Billy has been second best, second choice, second rate. He has never been the best. So the thing is that I feel like I'm really doing a therapy session when I say this, that when you have somebody who feels it's a CBT. I know, this is where we get really deep here. When they have a chronological behavior trait, which Billy does, because he always tries to outdo somebody else to get the credit that he never got from Jill. He has a mommy issue. Jill, Chloe, Chelsea, Lily, stuff like that. I was going to say Colleen. That's lower Candace.
A mommy issue?
And Matt, right? He has this thing. But then it's always these people who they're going through it, but when there's somebody else who's kind of under them, who's going through it, they feel as though they're the best thing. They feel as though my life is so much better than yours, I'm going to help you while I can't help my own self.
Yep. Ding, ding, ding. Kansas hit it all on the head.
And the thing is, Billy said something. This tells you that he put blame about Chelsea on Adam. That's a CBT as well. Because chronologically, Adam is the source for a lot of things. But that's because again, bring it up, Anthony, because of Delia. So he feels as though Adam is the trigger for Chelsea. I'm going to be honest, young and you kind of did something. Sharon is a trigger for Chelsea. But I saw what you did, and I give you kudos. Because Sharon is a therapist, but she's not handling her case. Get it, Sharon case? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here all night. But I have to give you kudos because I feel like I feel as though this is William J. Bell. Now, yes, I know what Josh's agenda is because we just said it. It's Emmy bait. But I'm going to tell you something. Young and Restless, between that storyline and the Vaughan and Abby story stuff, you guys realize you're a soap. And you guys are turning 50 next March. So cool for doing it right.
Yep. And I have eaten crow on this show when I have had to. Now I'm going to cut into my Chateaubriand and my garlic cheddar mashed potatoes because Devon and Abby, it has been way too long that we have been waiting for this, and I actually am enjoying the way they're playing it out. They're actually hitting the beats right for once. Yes. Now, oh, Lord, there's a lot wrong, too, though. And, Candace, you got to admit it. But these two are driving this soap back to it's been the number one, and I can't understand why the last maybe year and a half, but it's driving it back to this is why The Young and the Restless has been the number one soap for 30 years.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And here's the thing, real quick, before I go. For those who said, but Devon would never do anything like, first and foremost, this clearly tells me y'all didn't watch. Because, and I thought this was so messed up. Devon has cheated before, a couple of times. He's actually instigated, because remember when Hillary was married to Neil, who was blind? Then he kissed Tyler when he was with Roxy. And then with Amanda 2 times, cheated on her. The thing was when Chance and Amanda walked in. I don't know if y'all saw it or not, but when they saw Devon and Abby on the couch getting it on and enjoying the afterglow, there was a freaking picture of Devon and Neil right there. I was like, you know what? I was like, y'all so trashy. Because it was directly from Michelle Morgan's picture to Brighton James. I was like, I saw that Young and Restless. I caught that. Caught that. I don't know if that was a thing. I really don't. I'm just trying to prop it up for it to be a thing. But I gotta say this, Melissa Orway, I knew they had to figure somehow to connect that baby storyline, because Lord knows, to something like this. But I'm going to tell you something. Michelle Morgan, girl, I know you made the decision. Younger Rustlers, you're going to have to live with that. But she showed me why she is lead actress. Connor Floyd, baby, you've come into your own. I got to give you your props. Brighton and Melissa, let's go.
I think that oh my gosh, I can't think of her name because you're talking about all these other people. Michelle Stafford's character.
Oh, Michelle
Phyllis. I think Phyllis was more broken up about Amanda leaving than Devon was.
Because Phyllis doesn't have a friend. Phyllis does.
Yes, I know.
I know. And that's well. Don't worry, Phyllis, because some people are coming back for you.
Her baby.
But her baby.
Yeah.
Because we got Michael Damian. We got Michael Damian and Michael Gross today. Rock on. Yeah. And I like to point out who said that towards the 50th they better get Michael Damian. You're welcome, America. I'll take credit. Okay.
Wait, are we done?
No, but no, we're still up. We got like 5 minutes.
We got 4 minutes.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Let me just say that somebody tweeted a picture of the Hook person up close, and you can see how she looks from her, basically from under her nose, her upper top lip down to her neck.
I'm going to say this.
She's got a square chin. Who has a square chin?
Okay, so here's the thing. General Hospital, I said this too. You guys are going to throw a curve. It's that Blaze chick. Blaze. Isn't that the new girl who came to town?
It's Rory.
Well, I mean, he is going to recurring.
It's Rory.
Yeah.
Rory?
Well,
it's a woman.
Yeah.
Blaze is the rock chick with
Blaze is the partner that's going to be with Chase.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Everybody wants
she's only been on a couple times, but why would she go around wanting to kill people?
That's what I'm saying.
Heather.
Okay, here's the thing. I think that there's two killers, okay? I think obviously one is the one that we all think, and then they're going to dupe us and say, surprise, it was a second one. Coming soon, it's twins or General Hospital. No? Okay.
I think it's Rory, and he's got major issues that is going to unravel nicely for us.
Yeah, but I got the woman.
Yeah, I'm looking at the picture, Anthony, and I'm looking at the picture. Michael Damian's going to be on 7 episodes of Young and Rock. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, it's a woman.
But take the uniform off him, put a wig on him, put some bangly bracelets on his arm that he's living out some Norma Bates, kind of fantasy that he's his mother kind of thing, and he could pass for a woman.
I'm just gonna say, General Hospital, if y'all wasn't gonna commit, you shouldn't have did this storyline. Because I'm not being hooked in watching it. You guys had a great premise of doing a good hook storyline, and you let us down.
You did, and if it was Elizabeth, it would have been a great storyline.
Screw that. If it was me, I would have hooked everybody. I'd be like this. What's my reason? Here's my reason. Because in 2005, Sonny killed my daddy and put him in stuff like that. I said the reason that I was coming after Spencer is because Nicholas Cassadine, and this is true. This is actually part of this actually happened. In 2004, Nicholas was broke, and he had to ask for some money. Well, guess what? I'm here to collect based off my family. And Cody is my long-lost something. And we're tag teaming. We're taking over Port Charles. And the reason I'm trying to hook Ava is because she's with Jerome. And her mama ran Delia's bar, and I'm still not paying that drink. That's why I did it. I'm joking.
Yeah.
And the reason I tried to get Josh was because she had good hair. But then I saw Brando, and I was like, dang, he can't be with me, so nobody can. Hook.
Oh, girl, let's just let the cat out of the bag. It's Cook. We're finally going to see Cook's face. It's Cook. Oh my God. And you know Cook has a hook.
No, it's not. Ladies and gentlemen, this is probably the first time it's happened on General Hospital. But then again, this is a show that had Casey the Alien. Ladies and gentlemen, it was Moss. Moss transformed into a person.
It was Moss, yeah.
Pam, tell them about our special episode coming up on Tuesday.
Oh, you go ahead and talk about it, because right now I'm like in the middle of the book, and I got too many feelings. So go ahead and announce it.
I cannot remember his name. I can't remember his name.
J.D. Slackert.
J.D. Slackert.
Thank you. There is a movement out there about handwritten letters and sending, there's a difference between opening up an email. There's a difference between, getting just a standard kind of card. A handwritten letter is love. And we're going to be talking with him on Tuesday night, special episode, and we're taking off for the rest of the month for Thanksgiving. So please come and join us at 7 p.m. on Tuesday. It's going to be a great conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. And the name of his book is called Darling.
You're Not Alone.
Oh, my gosh. You're Not Alone. Yeah, and the campaign, the letter campaign, is called You're Not Alone. And basically you'll get what all of this means and what it's all about on Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. That's the 15th. So I hope you'll join us, because this is something really different, and
really
it's going to be it is, and it's going to be really emotional. So you might want to bring your Kleenex.
Tuesday
because,
the 15th.
I've already, like I said, I'm in the middle of the book, and I've already cried several times. So, and it doesn't necessarily mean that that's a sad cry, but I'm just going to leave it at that right now.
It's life.
So
it's good.
It's life.
It's hard.
Mm-hmm.
It's lovely.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. It's life in all its shades and colors.
Yeah.
Yes, please come
absolutely.
join us 7 p.m. Tuesday, special episode. All right, everybody. Yeah. It has been a wonderful show. Greg Vaughan, you are the man. And don't worry about it. You take that shirt off whenever they tell you to. We good with it. You're a real man, Greg. You're a real man.
Yes. You'll never hear complaint one by any of us.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night. Thanks, guys, for joining me.
Thank you.
Thanks, Carolyn. And Carolyn, speak up more. Yes.
Happy anniversary, everybody.
Yes, for sure.
We love you.
All right. Thank you. All right. Goodbye, everybody. See you Tuesday.